All right, for this one, if d is equal to 10, find the value of q minus p and express your answer in the form of a root b. All right, so the first thing we need to do for this one is we need to sub in 10 for d with the equation that we found in the previous part, which is that x squared minus 2dx plus 9d is equal to 0. So we're going to get x squared minus 2 times 10 times x plus 9 times 10 is equal to 0. That means that x squared minus 20x plus 90 is equal to 0. So what we need to do next is we need to use the quadratic equation to find the zeros. And keep in mind that the zeros of this equation are p and q. So that's going to go a long way to helping us find what q minus p is if we know what q and p are. So we're going to use the quadratic formula to do this. So a reminder, the quadratic formula is that x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, where in this case a is 1 because a is the leading coefficient, b is negative 20, and then c is the constant, which is 90. So here we're going to get that x is equal to negative 20 plus or minus the square root of negative 20 squared minus 4 times 1 times 90 all over 2 times 1. And that is equal to, well, let's see, 20 plus or minus the square root of 400 minus 90 times 4 would be 360 all over 2. So that's going to be 20 plus or minus the square root of 40 over 2. And so now let's split it up. Let's split it into two groups. The first group being 20 plus root 40 over 2, and the second group being 20 minus root 40 over 2. Now, root 40 is the same as the root of 4 times the root of 10, right? So that means that here we are going to have 20 plus root 4 root 10, which that's just going to be 2 root 10, divide by 2. And same thing over here. We can make a similar argument here and say this is 20 minus 2 root 10 over 2. And then we can divide both by 2. So we can get 10 plus root 10. And then over here, we would have 10 minus root 10. So which one is bigger, right? Which one of these is bigger? Well, 10 plus root 10 is bigger. So that makes 10 plus root 10 equal to q. And then 10 minus root 10 is smaller. So then we would have p is equal to 10 minus root 10. And then so q minus p would be what? Well, q minus p would be 10 plus root 10 minus 10 minus root 10. And so that's going to end up giving us 10 plus root 10 minus 10 plus root 10, right? Because we're distributing the negative sign into the 10 and into the negative root 10. These cancel out and we end up with 2 root 10, or root 40 would also be accepted as it's the same thing.